Hey there, it's Pete with GCI Turf. I hope you're having a great day today. I want to welcome you out here to my home. And over the past year, I've been getting a lot of requests to do an individual video on all the different big sprinkler sleds that I talk about and show in my videos. So this is video number 2 of a 4-part series. I'm going to try to load them up on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night. That way they'll all be there together and compare the 4 different sled sprinklers that Big Sprinkler offers. You know, if you go back through my videos, you'll see one here and one there and one here, but I've never really did an individual video on each one. I've got 2 of them here. I just done the video on the jumbo sled, and this one is actually going to be on the rotor sled. Let's take a look at the difference and we'll compare them. Now the base is pretty much the exact identical footprint, but you notice the actual sprinkler itself, the jumbo sled, is a considerably bigger rotor head. I have a Rainbird 5000 on the rotor sled, and then on the jumbo sled, it's a Rainbird 6504. In my last video, we learned that I've only got 3 gallons a minute and about 10 to 20 PSI roughly at the end of my garden hose. And the jumbo sled is just really not a good option for me. So let's try the rotor sled today in the same way and see what happens. Now, even though this is a smaller rotor head right here, the function of it is basically the same as the jumbo head. Hook your water up, turn on, this head will pop up and it'll rotate back and forth like so. Of course, it has the same adjustment on it right here. You can either increase it or decrease it. This way it gives you better control over where you're spraying. You can do a 45-degree angle, 90-degree angle, 180, 360, doesn't matter. It'll go all the way around and complete a full circle, or you can really dial it in if you're in a corner to where you just want it to go back and forth just a little bit. Comes with a group of nozzles like this right here. And basically to install one, I like to take my flathead screwdriver and stick it right here in the corner, and it'll pop that one right out for you, like so. Now, since I know I have pretty weak water up here at the house, which is only 3 gallons a minute and about 10 to 20 PSI, I'm going to start off with the 2.0. And it basically just fits in here, and you give it a little push, and it seats right in there. I know some of the irrigation guys don't like to do this, but I do. I like to take this set screw and screw it down in there just a little bit to where it catches the nozzle right here at the tip. That way the nozzle doesn't ever pop out by mistake. Now, with that said about my weak water volume and pressure up here at the house, down there at the well, I've got 28 gallons a minute and 80 PSI. I can actually use this exact same head down there, and I can even run a number 8 on it, which is the largest hole size, and it will absolutely work like a champion. So don't let the size fool you. Just because it's a smaller rotor doesn't mean you can't use this if you have a large volume of water and some really good pressure, because you have all these different nozzle options here which will accommodate a wide variety of volume and pressure. Alright, so right here I'm hooked up to a standard garden hose to my city water that goes into my home, which is 3 gallons a minute. I'm right around 10 to 20 PSI at the end of the hose. Let's see what it does. I think my favorite thing about the entire lineup of Big Sprinkler sleds is the actual sled. I mean, you can get the head a dime a dozen, but the sled is what makes this unique. This is some super thick fescue, and you can see it has absolutely no problem being completely stable, even in the thickest turf. Now, that's a pretty good pattern right there. I'm getting right about 27 feet of distance out of this. You can see the water coming out. That's just about right. I think that right there's pretty good. Now let's go over here and turn the booster pump on and see what happens. So you can see that's increased the pressure quite a bit. So I could actually go up to maybe a number 3 and try that, and let's see what happens. Alright, so let's turn it on without the booster pump. Again, I've upped the nozzle size from a 2 to a 3 just to see if I can maximize this out with what I'm working with right here at the house. So I really like this. I've got a great pattern going down through here. Good coverage from start all the way to the tip. And I walked this off and I've increased from 27 feet of distance to 39 feet of distance. So by upping my nozzle from a 2 to a 3 on the booster pump, I've gotten 12 extra feet of distance that I can cover. I think it's pretty cool. Let's push it again and bump it up to a number 4 and see what happens. Alright, so now I've changed out the nozzle. We're all the way up to a number 4. I'm going to turn it on for a minute, let it run, and then turn the booster pump on and see what happens. So I don't have quite the force coming out, but that's because I've got a bigger hole opening. I've still got great coverage from start to tip, and let's see how far this is throwing. So I'm getting the same 39 feet of distance with nozzle number 4 as I did with nozzle number 3. So that kind of tells me don't push it anymore. I probably maxed this out. You see the pressure go down. Somebody probably cut the water on inside the house. There it goes. It popped back to life now. Well, there you go. I think we found out that the rotor sled is a much better option for me as opposed to the jumbo sled, simply because it's a smaller body. It can handle the smaller volume of water that I have, you know, off my city water pressure, which is at 3 gallons a minute. And I can dial the nozzle back down low, use it without a booster pump, or you saw that I can up the nozzle to around a number 4, use a booster pump, get about 39 foot of distance out of it, get really good coverage. And you know, 39 feet, that's covering a pretty good amount of ground, especially if you set it out in the open and do a 360. I don't know the math on that right off the top of my head, but that's a pretty good size area that you can cover. Now, one of the little tricks you can do is the set screw that I showed you. If you really don't need to throw that far of a distance, you can screw that set screw down a little bit, break up the flow of water, and not throw it quite as far. So again, this is video number 2 of 4 in a 4-part series. Next we'll look at the, I don't know, let's do the impact sled next. And that's kind of got the old iconic sound, which is pretty cool. A lot of similarities to that one and this one, but a little bit different. So I'll get to making that one here in the next couple of days or so. And again, I'm gonna load all these up in succession, back to back to back to back, and that way they'll all be there for you to check them out. Now, if this is something you're interested in, I do have a coupon code from Big Sprinkler where you can get a discount on this. I'll link that up in the description below. I also have a link for that irrigation booster pump. That's an Amazon product, so I don't have a coupon code for that. As always, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch. I'll check you later.